You open your eyes from another strange dream. The images are still fresh, a path winding through ancient woods, a distant tower crumbling into the mist, a river that disappears into darkness. You tell yourself it was just a dream, just your mind spinning fragments of memory, but somewhere deep inside, you know that's a lie. This isn't just a dream. It's a memory you weren't supposed to forget. The place you see when you close your eyes, the one that keeps returning night after night, isn't a fantasy your brain invented. It's real. Real in the only way that matters, spiritually. It's the echo of a place your soul once knew, maybe in this life, maybe in others. A place that meant something so profound, so foundational to who you are, that even after everything else was forgotten, it remained. And now, it's calling you again. Because something inside you is dangerously close to being lost forever. Most people ignore these dreams. They dismiss them as nonsense, as stress, as the chaotic noise of an overworked mind. They wake up, brush off the feeling, and go back to sleepwalking through life. But you're here because you know better. You feel the difference. You sense that this isn't random. There's a sadness that lingers after these dreams, a longing you can't quite explain. It's as if you touched something precious for a brief second, and then it was ripped away. As if you stood at the gates of a home you barely remember, and were turned away by your own disbelief. In Tolkien's stories, there are lands that live not just in maps, but in the blood of those who remember them. Lands like Valinor, Gondolin, Numenor, places that carried the fate of entire peoples, places that once lost, left a scar that even generations could not heal. These were not just locations. They were states of being, reflections of what was noble or corrupted or forsaken, and so it is with you. The place you dream about is a mirror, a reflection of your inner world, of your deepest truth, of the parts of your soul that are still trying, against all odds, to survive. You might see a collapsing bridge and think it's meaningless. But what if it symbolizes the broken connection between who you are and who you were meant to become? You might see a burning forest and think it's just anxiety. But what if it's showing you that your passions, your dreams, your sacred fires are dying out without you even noticing? The landscapes in your dreams are maps. Maps leading back to the parts of yourself you've abandoned. Maps to the truths you buried because they hurt too much to hold on to. And if you keep ignoring them, if you keep waking up brushing the images aside, pretending they don't matter, then the dreams will eventually stop. And when they stop, it won't be because you're healed. It will be because what they were trying to save inside you is finally gone. You are standing at a crossroads every time you open your eyes in the dark. You can dismiss the dream. You can tell yourself it's nothing. You can keep walking further from the truth that aches to be seen. Or you can listen. You can choose to believe that the place you keep seeing isn't just imagination. It's an invitation, a chance to remember before it's too late. A chance to fight for the part of you that refuses to die silently. Because there's something else they don't tell you. Once you lose this part of yourself, you can't just reclaim it easily. The road back is longer. The light is dimmer. The echoes grow fainter. Tolkien understood this sorrow better than anyone. His stories are filled with characters who lost their way because they forgot where they came from, because they let the silence erase the call, because they believed the lie that dreams mean nothing. But you know better. You feel it even now. That tremor inside you, that tightness in your chest. It's not fear, it's recognition. It's your soul screaming through the only language you still understand. Images, symbols, places that don't exist here, but never stopped existing in you. And this is just the beginning. Because once you accept that the dream is real, that the place matters, you'll begin to see the next layer, the warning hidden within the beauty, the silent scream carried by the river's current, the urgency in the crumbling tower, the sorrow in the setting sun. Because this isn't just a memory, it's a countdown, and if you don't listen soon, What's lost won't be just a dream. It will be the part of you that still knows how to find your way home. In the next part, we'll go deeper. We'll unravel what the dream is desperately trying to warn you about, the precious part of your soul that is slipping away faster than you realize, and what you can still do before the door closes forever. You wake up again, heart heavy, your mind still tangled in the fading threads of the dream. You saw it, that place again. The same broken bridge stretching over a misty chasm, the same abandoned city shrouded in twilight, the same lonely path winding through a withered forest. It's not new. You've been walking these streets in your sleep for weeks, maybe months, and every time you wake, you tell yourself, it's just a dream. If you've seen a place in your dreams that feels too real to ignore, comment below. I still remember. Your memory could be the beginning of your return. But what if it's not? What if that place you've been seeing is more than an echo? What if it's a warning? There is a reason it feels familiar, a reason it feels urgent, a reason it won't let you go. Because that place is not just scenery. It's not just imagination. It's a mirror showing you something inside your own soul, something precious that is being lost. Something that once gone may never come back. Tolkien understood this better than almost anyone. In his stories, the fall of great cities and sacred lands, Numenor sinking beneath the sea, the desolation of Mordor, the fading of the elves' realms, they didn't happen suddenly. They were foretold in whispers, in dreams, in uneasy feelings, ignored for too long. The loss was always preceded by signs that most were too blind, too proud, or too afraid to face. And that's what your dream is, a sign, a final, desperate attempt to show you what is slipping away. Maybe it's your innocence. Maybe it's your sense of purpose. Maybe it's a relationship you once knew was sacred, but that you let corrode under the weight of neglect. Maybe it's a belief in something greater, in yourself, in love, in hope, that you once carried like a flame through the darkness. And now, the flame is flickering, and your soul knows it. That's why it sends you back to that place again and again, not to punish you, not to scare you, but to plead with you. Look, see what you are losing. See it before it's too late. The place you dream about is the last map to what's at stake, the crumbling bridge. It's not just a bridge, it's the link between who you are and who you were supposed to become, breaking, splintering under the weight of everything you've refused to face, the abandoned city. It's not just ruins, it's the dreams you left behind, the promises you broke to yourself, the hopes you let rot in silence. The dark forest. It's not just trees. It's the parts of your spirit that have been swallowed by fear, by regret, by forgetting. You are not just visiting these places, you are living them. And every time you wake without listening, without feeling, without asking, what am I supposed to see? Another piece fades a little more, another bridge falls, another light goes out. Because here's the truth no one tells you. You can lose pieces of your soul without ever noticing. Not in one great tragedy, but in 1,000 small forgettings. In every moment, you tell yourself that dream doesn't matter. In every time you brush off the pull in your chest, in every night you choose numbness over remembering. And if you lose enough pieces, you will wake up one day and not recognize yourself at all. That's the real danger. It's not losing the dream, it's losing the dreamer. You were meant to carry something sacred through this life, a light, a wisdom, a fire that only you can bear. And the place you keep seeing, it's where that fire still burns. It's the last stronghold of the part of you that refuses to surrender. But it cannot wait forever. In Tolkien's worlds, when the great cities fell, they didn't fall because the enemy was stronger. They fell because the people stopped believing in what made them strong. They stopped fighting for it. They stopped remembering. And so the walls cracked and the oceans rose. And the lands that once shone like stars were swallowed by silence. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let the most sacred parts of yourself be washed away by the slow, creeping tide of forgetting, because the dream you are seeing now, that place calling to you, is your last chance to turn back, to rebuild the bridge, to relight the fires, to remember who you are. But you must act while there is still time, because if you wait too long, if you keep waking up and turning away, the place will vanish, not with a scream, not with a roar, but with a sigh, the quiet sigh of something giving up because it was called too many times and heard too few. And you will feel it. You will feel the emptiness that follows, a hollowness you can't explain, a silence that no noise can fill. The saddest thing is not that people lose their dreams, it's that they forget they ever had them. You're standing at the edge right now, the edge between memory and loss, between awakening and oblivion. The place you keep seeing is waiting for you, but it won't wait forever. And in the next part, we'll uncover how every detail in that dream, every shadow, every light, every broken stone is not just scenery, but a key to saving what is most precious inside you before it disappears into the mist for good. You see the place again, not just once, but over and over. Every time you close your eyes, it's waiting for you. The mist swirling over cracked stone, the abandoned halls echoing with a silence that feels almost alive, the river that once sparkled now running dark and heavy. At first, you thought these details didn't matter, that they were just fragments, random pieces of a broken dream. But they matter more than you realize. Every detail you see is not random. It's a message, a code, a language your soul understands, even if your conscious mind has forgotten how to read it. When Tolkien wrote about places like Lothlorien fading into shadow, he wasn't just writing about forests and rivers. He was showing how beauty, hope, and purpose decay when they are no longer tended to, how lands fall when the people they belong to stop seeing their worth. Every detail, every leaf, every tower, every star carried meaning, warnings, invitations, secrets hidden in plain sight. The same is true for your dreams. The colors you see are emotions trying to surface. The broken pathways are decisions left unfinished. The darkened skies are fears you refuse to name. The withering trees are relationships, dreams, hopes that you have let starve in the silence. And if you look closer, if you really see, you'll realize something even more terrifying. The place isn't just falling apart. You are, piece by piece, memory by memory, choice by choice. You see, your soul doesn't communicate with words like your mind does. It speaks in symbols, in sights, in feelings too deep for language. And it has been trying to reach you night after night with the only tools it has left. Think about it. When was the last time you stood still long enough to listen? Not just hear, but listen. Not just notice, but feel. Not just dream, but remember. The broken bridge you keep crossing in your sleep. It's not about architecture, it's about trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the journey you once believed in. The abandoned homes you wander through, they're not just ruins. They are all the places inside you that you stopped visiting, the hopes you stopped nurturing, the parts of yourself you left behind when the world told you to move on and grow up and be realistic. The collapsed towers you stare at from a distance, those are the dreams you once called impossible, until you slowly convinced yourself they were. Has your soul been trying to call you back through dreams, signs, or silent whispers? Share your experience in the comments. Your voice might awaken someone else's courage. Each crack, each shadow, each dying light, it all means something. It's all pointing you toward the truth you are most afraid to face. You are losing yourself, not all at once, not in some grand moment of tragedy, but in small, silent moments of neglect. In every night you wake up and tell yourself the dream means nothing. In every morning you forget the images as fast as you can. In every breath where you choose numbness over noticing. And the worst part? The dream will not wait forever. There is a limited window where these places remain visible to you, a limited time where your soul still has the strength to send you these messages, because the more you ignore them, the dimmer they become, the more distant, the less you remember, until one night you wake up and there's nothing left. No more bridges, no more rivers, no more towers, no more maps back to yourself, just emptiness and an ache you can't explain. This is why every detail matters, every broken stone, every faded sky, every feeling of longing or fear. They are keys to the parts of yourself you thought were gone, but that can still be saved. But only if you listen, only if you start seeing not with your eyes, but with your soul. Because somewhere inside that dream, inside that broken place, there is still a doorway, still a light, still a chance. You have to find it. You have to remember what it feels like to care, to fight, to refuse to let the best parts of yourself rot away in silence. The place in your dreams is trying to guide you, but it can't drag you through the door. You must choose to walk. And as we move into the next part, you'll see what happens when that choice is delayed too long, when the calls grow fainter, when the land of your spirit begins, not just to decay, but to disappear completely, and what it will cost you if you wait until there's nothing left to return to. There comes a point where the dreams begin to fade, where the colors become paler, where the once vivid places you visited now feel distant, almost unreachable, where the sound of the rivers, the winds through the abandoned halls, grow silent, as if even the dream itself is giving up. And you may not notice it right away. At first, you just sleep a little deeper. The unsettling awakenings at 3:33 a.m. become less frequent. The haunting images stop pulling at you. You think, maybe it's over. Maybe you're finally free of those restless nights. But what you don't realize is that what's disappearing isn't just the dreams, it's you. The soul only calls for so long, only knocks for so many nights, only cries for so many dawns before it grows quiet, not because it is healed, but because it is exhausted. There's an ancient sorrow in the idea of forgetting. Tolkien captured it in every fading land, every forgotten hero, every silent ruin swallowed by the mist. He showed us that loss is rarely sudden. It's slow, creeping, whispering, and by the time you finally notice it, it's too late. The lands of your spirit, the dreams you once had, the passions that once burned so brightly, they do not collapse in one night. They wither, they shrink, they slip through your fingers like smoke. You don't even feel the moment you cross the line. One morning you just wake up and the dream that haunted you with its strange beauty is gone. The place you used to glimpse behind your closed eyes is empty. The call that stirred your blood and made your heart race in the silence has fallen still, and you feel a weight you cannot name, a sadness without a source, a hollowing that no noise, no distraction, no achievement can ever fill. Because you didn't just lose a dream, you lost a part of yourself, the best part, the part that knew who you were before the world told you who to be. And the tragedy is, you won't even remember what you lost. You'll just live with the absence, like carrying a wound you can't see. This is why the dream kept returning. This is why the images kept haunting you. They weren't sent to scare you. They were sent to save you. They were the last flickering lanterns left along a path you were meant to walk. The path back to yourself. The path back to everything real. And now, the lights are going out. Not because they failed you, but because you stopped looking for them. There's a moment in every soul's journey where the window closes, where the invitation is withdrawn, where the door that once stood open, patient, glowing, waiting, is sealed, and it does not open again easily, because the soul is not a beggar. It is a sovereign force. It calls you once, it calls you again. It weeps for you in the silence. It fights for you in your restless dreams. But if you choose to ignore it, if you choose the numbness over the ache, the comfort over the calling, then it steps back. And when it steps back, what's left behind isn't peace. It's a silence so deep it drowns everything. You become a stranger to yourself. You wake up every morning and wear the same face, speak the same words, go through the same motions, but inside you are a hollow echo, a remnant of what you could have been, what you were meant to be. And no success, no possession, no relationship can fill that kind of loss, because you didn't lose something outside of you. You lost your own soul's voice. Tolkien's forgotten cities, his broken kingdoms, his lands lost to the sea, they were always metaphors for this truth. When you abandon your call, when you ignore the signs, when you dismiss the ache, you do not escape it. You become it. You become the ruin. But not all hope is gone. Because the very fact that you are hearing these words now means there is still a spark, still a sliver of light hiding in the ashes, still a path, though it may be dark, overgrown, almost invisible, that leads back. You wouldn't feel the ache unless there was something left to save. You wouldn't feel the weight of these truths unless there was still a door, battered, rusted, half-buried, waiting for you to knock. But the cost of delay grows heavier with every night you refuse to answer. And in the next part, we will speak about that final choice, the moment when the soul stands at the threshold for the last time. The moment you must either step through the fading doorway back into yourself or lose the way forever. Not because you were punished, but because you chose not to remember. You are standing at the edge. Maybe you don't realize it yet. Maybe you've spent so long pretending not to hear the call that you've forgotten what it sounds like. But your soul remembers. And it's waiting for you to make the final choice, because there comes a moment where the invitation can no longer wait, where the dream, the place, the calling that kept trying to reach you can no longer linger at the threshold. It either becomes part of you again, or it fades into legend, into a memory you won't even know you lost. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing these words by chance. This is the last light flickering on the shore before the tide pulls away for good. The place you've seen in your dreams, the crumbling bridges, the hollow cities, the dying rivers, was never just about sadness or warning. It was a gift, a final offer to save something sacred before it disappears forever. If something inside you is still fighting to be remembered, leave a comment. I refuse to forget who I am. Let's walk this journey together. Because in Tolkien's worlds, there were always those few who answered the call when others slept. Those who crossed wastelands and faced darkness, not because it was easy, but because they refused to let the light die without a fight. Those who remembered. You have that same chance now. The ruins in your dreams are waiting. The broken pieces of yourself are still calling your name, but they will not wait forever. You must choose. You can continue pretending that the dreams mean nothing, that the sadness in your chest is just stress, that the empty feeling inside is normal, that forgetting is easier than facing the sorrow of what you've lost. Or you can choose to listen, to honor the dreams, to walk back through the broken places, to rebuild the bridges, to forgive yourself for abandoning what you once loved, and to begin again. Because beginning again is not weakness, it is the strongest thing you will ever do. It is the moment when you say, I will not let the best parts of me rot in silence. I will not let the sacred within me die unremembered. It is the moment when you refuse to become another ghost, wandering through life with no fire left in their eyes. You are here because you still have a choice. You are here because the dream is still whispering, because the doorway is still cracked open, just enough for you to step through. But know this, every delay makes the way back harder. Every denial makes the doorway narrower. Every time you tell yourself, maybe tomorrow, the light grows dimmer. There will come a night where you wake up and realize that the place you once dreamed of has vanished, where no matter how hard you try to summon it back, it will not return, where the map is gone, and the journey that could have saved you is lost. But that night is not tonight. Not yet. Tonight, you can still choose. You can still decide that your soul's voice matters more than your fear. that remembering is more important than comfort, that living awake, even when it hurts, is better than dying asleep. The dream has been calling you not to haunt you, but to heal you. The sadness you feel is not punishment. It is proof that you are still alive inside, that the ember has not gone out, that the ruins can still be rebuilt, and the choice is in your hands now. Step into the ruins, cross the broken bridge, light the torch again, call back the parts of yourself you left behind, because the soul is patient, but it is not infinite. And someday it will stop calling. But today, right now, it hasn't. It's still here, waiting, hoping, believing in you. And I am too. Thank you for having the courage to come this far, for daring to read not just with your eyes, but with your soul, for feeling the ache instead of running from it, for remembering what so many have forgotten. You are not alone, and your journey is not over. Not if you choose to walk through that door. The light you're looking for has been inside you all along. It's time to bring it back into the world. If this message touched something deep inside you, subscribe now. Your soul has been waiting for this moment. Comment below. What dreams, what places, what pieces of yourself are calling you back? Share your story. It might be the torch that helps someone else find their way too. And remember, the fact that you're still dreaming means it's not too late to wake up. Not yet.